Hey, what's up? Zach D Productions here, and I'm here for a movie review for you guys. So, for this review, I'll be reviewing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So, this is, of course, the first part of the Dead Reckoning saga of Mission Impossible. I believe Part 2 is going to release sometime in 2024 next year. So, very soon here, which is crazy to think about that we're, getting another Mission Impossible movie very soon here. I was really looking forward to part 1 though, and this movie definitely has me excited for what's to come next. So I did see this movie in the theater recently, and I do think it's great. I think it's a really solid Mission Impossible movie, and also easily one of my favorite films of this year. Do I think it's better than the last Mission Impossible movie though, Fallout? I don't think so. As of this moment, it's a little difficult to decide. I still might like Fallout a little bit more, but not by much though. I wouldn't say that it's by much, but Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a very solid Mission Impossible movie and also just a very solid action film. So basically the plot of this movie is, of course, Ethan Hunt is back at it again on, how many missions is this now? I know that Tom Cruise has been doing Mission Impossible movies since the 90s, so there is that. So, of course, Ethan Hunt is back at it again, going on more missions, achieving more tasks, and the plot of this movie basically surrounds this key. And this key basically has two pieces to it, and to activate it, you need both pieces of this particular key. And what this key does is it'll unlock an entity, and if it gets in the hands of the wrong people, then things could end up being very bad, and whoever possesses this key could be very powerful, So, and that's basically the gist of that, and basically all the characters have to retrieve this key. That's basically the whole point of the movie, is just trying to get this key, and I presume in the next movie we're going to find out what this key goes to, which that'll be very interesting. So that's basically the plot, at least the gist of it right there. And I thought that the action scenes were really well done. I really enjoyed the action scenes. There is some practical, but of course there is some CG. I think Tom Cruise does most of his stunts, which, I do applaud him for, and I think we can all agree that Tom Cruise is one of the all-time greats when it comes to action movies. He is definitely one of the best movie stars around, and that's just what he does. He creates good movies. If you're a lover of good movies, chances are you are a Tom Cruise fan. You can tell by the numbers and the box offices as well, what people really want to see. Like this movie here, Top Gun, specifically Top Gun Maverick, last year did financially very well, and I think that this new Mission Impossible movie did very well as well. And it's definitely worth it, for sure. It's definitely deserving of, achieving the numbers and what all it's been getting. Now, there is some practical, but there is some CG in the movie, which is fine. I think I've heard someone say one time that CG is good for things that actors and stunt people can't do, which I totally understand that for sure. And again, the action scenes, they really stood out. Of course, you have the iconic scene that I think anyone will remember for years to come about this movie. The scene where Tom Cruise drives a dirt bike off a cliff. That scene has been in TV spots and basically almost every trailer for this film. And again, it's probably going to be one of the things about this movie that people remember the most. And I want to say that was actually a ramp that he drove off of, and that was just a CG cliff or something. I remember seeing something about that. I believe so. Which, props to Tom Cruise for, the amazing work in that. And, of course, the action scenes in the first half of the movie, really stood out as well. Like the desert scene And you also have the car section when, you know, Tom Cruise and that other girl were in that yellow car and they're being chased by, I guess, one of the lead villains of the movie. And when I saw this in theaters, the audience was actually bursting out laughing at the car scene as well, because, you know, they didn't know what they were doing. You know, they were driving the car all over the place. So, yeah, it definitely has its comedic moments thrown in there, but it's not done in a cheesy way or anything. So, I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie for sure. And, of course, the ending, really epic. You know, the whole thing with the train sequence is just really cool. I mean, that's definitely one of the highlights for the movie for sure. I can see why they saved that section for the end. It definitely works, and you can tell once again that there's going to be more to this story with a second part. I thought all the actors, they did very well in the movie. Of course, Tom Cruise, you know, always giving it his all. And the one girl in this movie, I guess you could say she's one of the villains. She was actually Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which is pretty interesting that she's in this movie. She plays a pretty big part in this movie as well, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, obviously some familiar faces there, so really solid movie. I've pretty much enjoyed all the Mission Impossible movies. Even the second one, which I think is just okay. I mean, is it the weakest among all the Mission Impossible films? I'd probably say so. I know that a lot of people don't like that film, but for me, I think it's just okay. It's an okay movie, not so bad. But Dead Reckoning Part 1, very solid movie, and again, easily one of my favorite films of this year. Honestly, it's a runner-up for being maybe my favorite film of the year, at least so far. So, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, really great movie. Highly recommend go seeing it if you haven't already. If you're a lover of movies, action flicks, definitely check this one out. So for a score, I'd have to give this movie probably an 8.5 out of 10. Really great movie for sure. So let me know what you think. Have you seen this movie? And if not, would you like to see it? And if you have seen it, let me know what you think. So with that said, thanks for watching. Have a good one.